Hi, welcome to Climbing Daily. Coming up on today's show, we've got news of some pretty impressive female bouldering out in the States. We check out Scarpa's latest mountaineering boot at ISPO Munich, and we have a snippet from the latest EpicTV series, A Day in the Life. For the last 3 weeks, top British climber Mina Leslie-Wujastyk has been over in Hueco Tanks, Texas, and she's been getting some pretty impressive routes done. Mina's really been working her way through the classics up there. She's climbed Barefoot on sacred ground, that's V12. She's also climbed a couple of V11s and a V10, not bad going. This means that Mina has now climbed 37 boulder problems of V11 or harder, and she's still only 26. Up next, we're over at the Scarpa stand at ISPO Munich, checking out their latest mountaineering boot. I'm here with Glyn from Scarpa at ISPO Munich at their stand, and he's going to talk us through their new Mont Blanc Pro. Glyn.
Okay, the Mont Blanc Pro replaces the Mont Blanc brought out about 3 years ago. It introduces the Sock Fit or Sock Fit Plus that we've been putting into various models over the last year or so. I mean, the Sock Fit idea came from Uli Steck, who was trying to build in a much closer, more sensitive feel and fit to the product. So what we've done here is taken out the cushioning across the top of the foot, and so when you're putting your foot into the boot, it feels just like you're putting your foot into a sock. From a climbing point of view, you've got all that sensitivity, and you don't feel like you've got something too big on your foot. With this boot, with durability in mind, we've put the Mont Blanc sole unit on here, which still gives you lots of cushioning, plenty of tread there, so plenty of life left in this boot.
So, what is this boot? Is it a Scottish winter boot, an alpine climbing boot?
This is an all-round boot for anybody climbing in the Alps, in Scotland in winter. It's got the durability on the sole unit, but it's got the fit and the feel to climb hard in it if you want to.
So if you've got crampons on your feet and you're not at altitude, this is the boot for you?
Absolutely, yeah.
And most important of all, how much is it?
The old boot is $380, new boot comes in at $400, but I think the improvements to this boot will be well worth it.
So Glyn from Scarpa has just showed us their new Mont Blanc Pro, and I've actually got the Mont Blanc Pro on my feet and the old Mont Blanc here, and you can see much thinner profile, so the same warmth for a smaller boot, and they've added the Sock Plus, which is up around the top here. Sock Fit Plus, so you should get more warmth, less snow getting in your boot. Overall, a boot that's had a lot of thought go into it. Very nice. To finish, we've got a snippet from the latest Chuck Freiberger series, A Day in the Life, and in this episode the camera is following Alex Honnold for the day. Makes your palms sweat. See you next week.
So over the last year I've been doing a lot of like commercial shoots and like trips. And so it's nice to just be in the van again on my own, just going climbing with no agenda, just, you know, doing what I want to do.
Where's it like 7 right now? I'm in 2 sleeping bags inside a van. Ta-da! I'm up.
We're in the Owens River Gorge. It's a pretty cool little climbing area. Basically, I'm hunting down some of the John Backer solo circuit, some of these classic face climbs that John Backer used to solo. Vamos! Bishop and the Owens River Gorge are like local for where I grew up in Sacramento. And so I've been climbing here since I was like 14 or 15.
And it's like a really nice ambiance. This is like my favorite thing about being in the outdoors. And look at this thing, dude, this heinous mud wall. I remember doing this once upon a time.
I remember as a kid reading the guidebook, and it has photos of John Backer soloing these routes. And I'd read the guide and be like, oh my God, he soloed those. So I've always just had this vision of John Backer being the man wandering around the gorge soloing. When I first started soloing stuff, I did like massive volume at the gorge. Like it's where I basically first started to, you know, solo 5.9, 5.10, and I would just go around by myself doing tons of pitches.
During this time, John Backer would be seen roaming around the gorge carrying a huge ghetto blaster. He would prop up the stereo facing a difficult climb, crank some funky hip hop, and then proceed to free solo the route. It's kind of a proud circuit.
That was kind of real. Some of these are so cold. Japanese climber Dai Koyamada has made yet another first ascent of an 8C boulder problem. This time he's called it Vanitas and it's at Mount Horror.